मनसि स्थापित्वा अद्य कार्यक्रमम् आरम्भं कुर्मः। कार्यक्रम आरंभे प्रथमं वेदसंस्कृति प्रार्थना कर्तुम् अस्माकं उपाध्यक्ष महोदयं डॉक्टर विशालक्ष्मी महोदयं आह्वयामि। महोदये कृपया वेदसंस्कृत्याः प्रार्थना आरम्भं करोतु।
ओम सभायै नमः। सर्वेभ्यो स्वागतम्। अद्य बहु सुदिनम् अस्ति, यतः भरत महर्षेः नाट्य शास्त्रम् अधिकृत्य प्रसंगं प्रचलति। अद्य वक्ता सौभाग्यवती डॉक्टर बी वाणी महोदया, अद्य मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर पद्मजा महोदया, ते प्रत्येक स्वागतं व्याहरामि। अद्य वेद संस्कृति समित्याः द्विसप्ततमः प्रसंगम् आस्वादयितुं सर्वेभ्यो स्वागतं व्याहरामि। प्रथमतः प्रार्थनां कृत्वा तदनन्तरं कार्यक्रमं प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनाम् उपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजीभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु। ओम मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्य देवो भव अतिथि देवो भव। ओम सदाशिव समारंभां व्यास शंकर मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परंपराम्। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः।
हरि ओम। धन्यवादः। अद्य कार्यक्रमे द्विसप्ततिः तमे कार्यक्रमे बहवः जनाः आगतवन्तः। बहवः कलाकाराः अपि सन्ति। मुख्यतः द्वे वरिष्ठे महिले वक्ते स्तः। आं ते आह्वयामि। नमस्कारं कृत्वा आह्वयामि। पद्मजा प्रथमं ते परिचयं करोमि। अस्तु। अद्य वक्ता डॉक्टर बंडारं वाणी महोदय। अद्य विषयं नाट्यशास्त्रम् ऑफ भरत मुनि। First, I will introduce the Shastram, then I will introduce one by one. Natya Shastra Bharat Muni is an ageless manual in performing arts, as the rules are relevant even today. It is an ancient comprehensive text that devoted to detailed aspects of the performance of the stage, may it be dance, song, or drama. This exhaustive work deals with minute details in its 36+1 chapters, not just for the dancer, but also the rituals, construction of stage, 4 kinds of abhinaya, the structure of a presentation and its compositions, role and goals of a kavi, that is the poet, the author of the playwright, and prayokta, the performer as well. Kavi prayoktru upadesha param, kavi prayoktu upadesha param iti aim of Natya Shastra is to educate and entertain the samajam. Tadwara devotion towards God. एतद् मुख्योद्देश्यमस्ति. सर्वेभ्यः कलाः सन्ति, ते सर्वेभ्यः भगवान् प्रार्थना कृते एव सम्यक् भवन्ति इति मम विचारः. अस्तु, इदानीम् अद्य मुख्यवक्ता डाक्टर् अद्य विषयस्य मुख्यवक्ता डाक्टर् भण्डारं वाणी महोदयं प्रथमम् आह्वयामि. I introduce her to the audience. Dr. Bhandaram Vani is a retired principal of SN Vanita Mahavidyalaya, Hyderabad. He is presently a Sanskrit faculty at University of Sirkanandhra, USA. She taught courses on prose, poetry, and drama in Sanskrit literature at UG and PG levels in colleges and universities. She also served as faculty for workshops held by IIT Hyderabad on spirituality and well-being for teachers. Dr. Vani's doctoral thesis, entitled A Study of Sangeeta Chandra of Vipradasha, is an active researcher and received grants of minor and major research projects from UGC to examine the Chatusashti Kalas and the scientific references in Ashtadasha Puranas. Dr. Vani authored the books at Nritta Ratnavali Rochi, 2004, Vedavani Jeevanavani, 2009, Ramayana Loni Mani Pradipalu, 2009. And Pitrudevo Bhava, 2016, Devayani, 2010, and Akkineni Anuchintanani from Telugu to Sanskrit, 2018, also gave lectures on E-Pathasala of Central University. He's a versatile orator, Pramukha Varishta Mahila, सर्वेभ्यः जानन्ति एतत् प्रसङ्गविषये, एतत् महिला विषये सर्वेभ्यः बहु जनादरण लब्धवती माता, ताम् आह्वयामि. नमस्ते महोदये, भवती अद्य कार्यक्रम आरम्भं कर्तुम् आह्वयामि. तदनन्तरम् अद्य मुख्यवक्ता अस्माकं अदृष्टमस्ति, वरिष्ठे महिले द्वे अत्र स्तः. Dr. Padmaja is a versatile dancer and Vyavasthapika of Atmalaya, Bangalore, and a very senior artist, and has got her own place in the field of Natya Shastra and Natya Abhinaya. I happened to see her Abhinayam application to Bhagavad Gita and other Shastras in Mahbub College in 2018. ताम् आह्वयामि. स्वागतं महोदये, परिचयं करोमि. Dr. Padmaja, acclaimed artist of Bharatanatyam and researcher. Dr. Padmaja has been trained by prominent gurus, Guru K. Kalyana Sundaram and her own father, Sri Chakyar Rajan. She holds degrees in commerce, law, diploma in choreography, a master's in philosophy, and doctorate from Mysore University. She has performed at major dance festivals widely and was honored at Rashtrapati Bhavan by Dr. Abdul Kalam for her efforts to teach lesser privileged children. It's a great job, madam. Namaste. Padmaja has represented the ICCR besides extensive concert tours to over 32 nations. Fantastic. Her institution, Atmalaya Academy, conducts workshops also at rural India, Rural India. Padmaja is an examiner, module contributor, dance columnist, and author whose books deal with the esoteric study of dance. She had presented a TV serial, Natya Tantra. She has participated in international conferences like World Sanskrit, Parliament of Religions, and was at the Sangeet Natak Academy, Natya Shastra seminar, and Chennai's Natya Kala conferences. Dr. Padmaja is Assistant Professor, Bharatanatyam Department, University of Sirikanandra, and a guest faculty at few other institutions. Titles and awards. There are so many. Karnataka Kalasri and Sri Shakti, Karmavira Chakra, Rex Global Fellow, Bharatakala Srestha, Nartana Nipuna, Singara Mani, National Women's Excellence, Subramanya Trust Award, Ajanta Vishwakala Ratna, and others. So many are there. We are telling a short only here. So it is our fortune to have two great artists in Bharatanatyam Shastra, knowledgeable people to be here among other many artists that are present in this August Vedika. I invite all the great people in this Natya Shastram to honor our Vedika. And with this brief introduction, I request Dr. Vani ji to start her lecture. Dhanyavadaha. Swagatam Mahodaye. I invite Dr. Padmaja to be the chief guest of today's August platform. Swagatam.
అది పవర్ పాయింట్ ఉంది. అది పిపిటి ప్రెజెంటేషన్ ఉంది.
Babu, Dr. Babu, please. Dr. Babu.
Okay, present చేయండి.
Dr. Prabhakar Rao, is it possible to mute that ting-tong sound which comes at every entry of a person inside the meeting room? The host will be able to mute that so there's no disturbance during the PowerPoint.
Sure, definitely.
Okay, done.
Entry of,
Could you present, okay.
Namaste. Welcome to all. Om Devim Vachamajanayanata Devah Tam Vishwarupa Vachavo Vadanti Sano Mandreshu Murdhanjuhana Denurvagasman Upasushtavetu Pranamya Sirasa Devau Pitamaha Maheshwarau Natya Shastram Pravakshyami Brahmanaya Dudahrutam. Welcome to the audience for the lecture on Natya Shastra of Bharata Muni. This is, I would just like to give the brief introduction, the outlines of the 36+7 chapters of Natya Shastra. It's a very lengthy, voluminous work. It is the compendium of all kinds of Shastras. That is what Bharata Muni says in his Natya Shastra, where many things are being incorporated in the Natya Shastra. This Natya Shastra, Natyam, is been explained by Abhinaya Dharpana, in Abhinaya Dharpana as Angikam bhuvanam yasya, which is a very popular shloka. Angikam bhuvanam yasya vachikam sarvavangmayam. Moments is the whole universe, and the speech is the literature of the whole universe, and ornaments are moon and star. He who is the soulful dancer, I salute to the Lord Shiva. In this Natya Shastra, he says that everything which is in the world, existing in the world, have been incorporated here. The science and Natya, art, education, yoga, everything. He himself in the first Prathamadhyaya says, Natadjnanam, natashilpam, nasa vidya, nasa kala, nasau yogaha, natat karma, natye asmin, yanna drushyate. There is no knowledge, no craft, no education, no art, no yoga, no action that is not found in the drama. He says here, jnanam. Jnanam means what? Jnanam means adhyatma vidya, atma jnanam. Knowing this Natya Shastra, going through the Natya Shastra, learning the some aspects of Natya Shastra, it is impossible to know all the sciences, all branches of sciences, all parts of learning. But if we know something from the Natya Shastra, that itself is a Atma Jnana. It leads to the moksha, Atma Jnana. And Vidya is Dandaniti. Dandaniti is statecraft, Varta, Ityadikar. They are called Varta Anvikshaki Trayi Vidya. Varta is day-to-day activities. They are all knowing that day-to-day activities is called as a Vidya. And yoga is a combination with all this jnana, vidya, art, craft, combining all of them in knowing all of them, learning all of them is the yoga. Having connection with all these things. Yojanam teshameva. Explained by Abhinav Bharat. Karma is yuddha niyuddhari. Likewise, in this Natya Shastra, all kinds of everything. The name of the Natya Shastra, it is a combination of two words, Natyasya Shastram, Natya and Shastra. What is a Natya? What is a Shastra? Generally, people have a notion that Bharata Natya Shastra, Bharata Natya Shastra, with the name of author, Bharata Natya Shastra of Bharata Muni or Bharata. It is a text for Bharatanatyam alone. It's not so. It's not so. It's not the text of Bharatanatya alone. People in the earlier stages, earlier times, people had time and learned many things, and whatever they see in the world, they were able to see in the dramas, etc. In the dances or dramas, etc. Slowly, people's mind have become very narrowed, and they could not understand many of the things, enjoy many of the things. But in olden times, when Bharata Muni had written his Natya Shastra, even the audience are also well educated to go and see that kind of a presentation. And Shastra, Shastra is a Shasanopayaha. Shasanopayaha, a tool for knowing things, tool for instructions. Shastram, a methodical study. That's why we have Arthashastram, Gandharva Shastram, etc. They do give us a methodical, scientific study of the subject. This here, he is very scientifically codified, condensed, and given the necessary rules for dance and music, because the dance and music, drama, action was there in the people's life time immemorial. In the caveman also, when he saw a big elephant, an animal or big elephant, which he has not seen before, he used to come back home and explain to his family that he has seen a huge animal with long ears, with a trunk. All these things he used to explain. That kind of a physical movement, gestures, and the expressions, sounds, all these things, actions, how it was walking, and these are all things are there from the time immemorial. That all those things are being incorporated in the Natya Shastra in a technical way, in the technical way, so that people can explain it, people can present it in the stage properly. Thinking so, Bharata had written the Natya, composed Natya Shastra, because there were some other previous authors also under music and dance. He took the information from them, data from them, and he codified them. And in this process of giving the rules and regulations for the music and dance, he made so many other things are also, he had put in his Natya Shastra so many other things which are also essential for the presentation of the dance, like relation between the director, actor, and the audience, structure of the drama or structure of the play, dance, acting techniques, costumes and makeup, musical instruments that are to be used in the drama, and their making also, how the musical instruments to be prepared. All these things.
ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది అనుకోండి ఇంట్లో, అప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చాలా ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు ఇట్లా మనం చూసి ఈ రేంజ్ లో.
And its decoration, paintings, what kind of paintings, and the chairs, how the chair seating arrangement has to be done, and the seats also, how it should be, whether they should be wooden chairs or the stone chairs or the brick chairs, all these things are being dealt in Natya Shastra, along with the essential for the authors and actors, like the knowledge of grammar, prosody, rhetoric, rasa, bhava, all these things. It is a complete holistic work on the science of drama. And what is dance? It's a dance. Now it has taken the forms of Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Kathakali, etc. Like we say, in this Natya Shastra, he has given the rules and regulations and the procedure, how to prepare the sketch the drama, how the speech has to be there for by the actors, and the rules for the singing, all these things. Thus, the Natya Shastra had become a complete, a holistic study of the science of Natya. In that science, he, whatever the worldly things are there, he incorporated all of them in that. And Natya Shastra had been written sometime in the 2nd century. Many of these scholars accept, but Manmohan Desai and some others, they go even beyond it. there are some reasons why they feel that it is even before the 5th century or 6th century BC. But overall, most of the scholars accepted that Natya Shastra has been composed in the 2nd century BC or even 5th century BC. And there are a lot many editions there for this Natya Shastra, since it is a very huge one. Whenever people find something in their regional languages, they have put them in the Natya Shastra. Now, various editions are available for the Natya Shastra. When I was reading Natya Shastra for my PhD on Sangeeta Chandra, I referred mostly to Natya Shastra of PSR Apparao Garu, and now I follow my guru's Bharata Muni Pranitam Natya Shastram Acharya Pullela Sri Ramachandrudu Garu. And the language, there are so many editions and so many new copies are available. And this Natya Shastra is composed in Sutra, Bhashya, Anuvamsha Shlokas type. Sutra are the rules, and Bhashya is a little bit of explanation of that. And some prose part is also, Gadya part is also there, and some Anuvamsha shlokas are also there. Anuvamsha shlokas are the shlokas which are being taught to the son by the father, or Shishya by the guru, and it is coming from a long tradition, Paramparagata shloka. And this Natya Shastra has 31 plus 1 chapter. 36 plus 1 chapter. Abhinava Bharati separated them separated the last 2 chapters, 36 and 37, separately, and more in some of the editions they are given as 36 chapters. This Natya, how it had come down to the public, come down to people. There are so many stories are there. The Natya Shastra itself, he says that Brahma created this Natya Shastra because people were very low spirited at that time. When the people are low spirited, when people are tired of their works and all, they need to have some kind of a Kridaniyakam. Kridaniyakam is the Kridaniyakam, item which they can, which can entertain them, which can make them happy, which can be, which can give them instruction also, which can educate and entertain. Both the things have to be given in one item. That Kridaniyakam, Brahma was requested to make such kind of an Kridaniyakam, and that also which can be seen and heard to, which Drishyam cha Sravyam cha. Drishyam is can be seen and Shravyam which can be heard. That kind of an Kridaniyakam, one kind of an presentation which is enjoyable, which is instructive also. Then Brahma created 5th Veda, Natya Veda. 5th Veda, Natya Veda. Why it is called as 5th Veda is because he was requested actually as Dharmam Argyam Yashasyancha Sopadeshyam Sasangraham Bhavishyatasya Lokasya Sarvakarmana Darshakam Sarva Shastrartha Sampannam Sarva Shilpa Pravartakam Natyakyam Panchamam Vedam. This Panchamam Veda, which is Bhavishyatasya Lokasya Sarva Karmanu Darshakam. Not only for that day, that time, but in future also, Bhavishyatasya, in future also for the world, it is Sarva Karma Anudarshakam, which can be a model for the future in all their activities. Accordingly, Brahma created Natya Veda, fifth Veda, taking the items from Chatur Vedas, like like Jagraha Patyam Rugvedat, Samavedo, Samebhyo Gitamevacha, Yajurvedat Abhinayan, Rasan Adharvana. He extracted from the Yajurveda, Rugveda, the Patyam, the text, the dialogue, the words are being taken from the story part is been taken from Rugveda, and Samebhyo Gitamevacha. Samaveda is known for its singing, that everyone knows. Samaveda is for the singing. And that music he had taken, extracted from the Sama Veda. And Yajurveda Abhinaya. Yajurveda is the Karma Kanda. Rugveda, recitation will be there, and Samaveda, it is sung, and Yajurveda is mostly the Karma Kanda. So the action, that Abhinaya, is taken from Yajurveda, and Atharvana Veda, Rasa, because Atharvana Veda is mostly for the common people. So that the essence, the sentiments are being taken from the Atharvana Veda. Like this, he took this, he collected information, data from all the four Vedas, and then created this Natya Veda, which is Sarva Shastra Sampannam, Sarva Shilpa Pravartakam. It is completely with the Sarva Shastra Pravartakam. All branches of sciences are being incorporated there, and Sarva Shilpa Pravartakam, all kinds of craft also is been included there here in the Natya Veda. The Bharata says, Vedopavedaihi sambadho Natya Vedo Mahatmana evam bhagavata srushto brahmana sarva veduna. Thus he created the drama, the fifth Veda, Panchama Veda of Natya, which became popular amongst the public. And Natya is, there are three terms which are used for Nrutta, Nrutya, and Natya. Nrutta, but now presently Nrutyam and Natyam are used in synonymously, but Nrutta means it's only Bhavabhinayahinam tu Nruttamitya Abhidiyate, and only a simple bodily movements, a rhythmic bodily movements, Angavikshepa, is called as Nrutta. And this dance, this movement of the limbs, if it has a rasa and bhava also, with an expression, with an expression of the sentiment is there, then rasa bhava vyanjanadi Nrutyam is along with not only the movement of the limbs, but along with the rasa and bhava. Natyam is that Natyam tannatakam chaiva pujyam purva kadhayutam. While expressing the sentiment, while performing the abhinaya, if there is a story also, story from the earlier, the patham is been taken from Rigveda. Those stories are also being taken, then it is called as Natya. And the rasa manifestation with all these four abhinayas, which we have read before, Angika, Vachika, Aharya, and Satvika abhinaya, along with them, if the story is also there, that is a Natyam. Natyam doesn't mean only the movement of the body, or even producing the rasa also, but a bit of story has to be there, and that Purvakadayutam, he says it as a Purvakadayutam, that Itihasa has to be, that stories from the epics have to be there. because this drama is always Upadesha Jananam, always has to instruct the people. So collecting stories from the earlier ones, epics, that has to be put in the Natya, in the bodily movements, and then it becomes a Natya. And he praises this Natya, that it should be Vinoda Jananam, Dharmartha Kama Moksha has to be there in the drama, in the Natyam, Loka Vruttanukaranam. It has to just follow the Loka Vrutta. Whatever the arts or the science or the walks of the life are there in the outside world, the same has to be incorporated in the Natyam. And Nana Bhava Pasampannam, Nana Avasthantaratmakam. It has to be Nana Bhava Upasampannam. Many kinds of bhavas, feelings. Later on, he explains what are the bhavas and rasas. All kinds of human beings, pain and pleasure. These are the main two feelings which people have, pain and the pleasure. All those things have to be there in the Natya. And Vishranti Jananam, it has to give peace, calm down, cool down the people. And Hitopadesha Jananam, and also it has to, while giving joy and happiness, it has to, it should have a beneficial advice also. It should look at the welfare of the people. Likewise, this Natya, Dukharthanam, Shamarthanam, Lokanam, Krutam, this Dukharthanam, Shamarthanam, Shokarthanam, Tapasvinam, Vishranti Jananam, Kale, Natyametad, Bhavishati. For all these kind of people, the Natya gives the solace, happiness, and instruction also. It educates and entertains. There are so many shlokas given in the Natya Shastra about this, and we'll go further because the time won't be enough. In a sixth chapter, Natya Shastra, as I told you, it is a 36 plus 1 chapters. And in these 37 chapters, he explained Makika Abhinaya, Vachika Abhinaya, Aharya Abhinaya, Satvika Abhinaya, along with Natya Mantapa, Nirmana, all the preliminaries which have to be done before the presentation of the dance. And last two are the story about the Natya Shapa. And while explaining all these in 36 chapters, he said in the 6th chapter that there are some things which are very, very important in the performance of the actor, other dancer. And he starts with that. In the beginning, when the reason for him to write the Natya Shastra, all the sages like Atreya and others, they approached Bharata and requested him, you are creating this Natya Shastra, but who can utilize this Bharatanatyam, for whom this has been written? They asked 5 questions. Like, first is how this Natya Veda is created, and for whom it is meant for, and what are the parts of this Natya Shastra, what is its pramana, what is the parimana, extent of this Natya Shastra, and how it can be applied in the day-to-day life. These are the 5 questions had been asked by Atreya and other Maharshis, other sages to Bharata. And Bharata explained the whole Natya Shastra. He gave the answers of all these 5 questions, but we don't find these 5 answers for these 5 questions in a sequence order. It is all distributed in the overall text. And this Natya Shastra includes everything. In the first chapter is an origin of drama, that is a Natyotpatti, how it had come and how it has to be presented and what is there in that Natya Shastra, for whom it is applicable. He says, Ishvaranam vilasascha stairyam dukkharthitasya ardhopajeevinam arthaha dhrutihi udvigna chetasam. This Natya can give Ishvaranam vilasa. The rich people can enjoy the drama. If anybody is suffering, he can get this stairyam, confidence, and arthopajeevinam artha. If anybody wants to learn artha, earn money, and for them, this gives, Natya gives a kind of a source of, it shows source of income for the people who want to earn the money. In Ruchakatika drama, here one drunkard, he comes to Charudatta and asks Charudatta, and he is a body massager. Then he asks, what is this? Why are you you look like a learned person, but why have you taken up this profession? Then he says, I learned it as an art, but that had become my livelihood now. It is just learned as an art, the massaging. But now I can live on it. Likewise, this Natyam, not only giving joy of performing, but also it becomes a arthopajeevinam arthaha, income, money to the people who want to earn money. Like these kind of things are being explained in the first chapter. And it is a bit lengthy because all 36 chapters. I'm not going to go through each and every item of the chapter. I'll just give a brief outline, content of the Natya Shastra, content of each chapter. And second one is a Mandapa Vidhanam. Mandapa Vidhanam, it has 105 shlokas. How the Natya Mantapa has to be constructed. It is full mathematical equations are there, mathematical terms are there, and very precisely where the pillar has to be built, where the chair for the king has to be placed, where the instrumentalists have to sit, where from the the dancer can enter, and the different kinds of levels. And the he says that all the Natya Mantapas should be in the mountain cave form with the small pillar, small windows, so that ventilation will be there and sound and acoustics will be great. That's how he explains in the Mandapa Vidhanam description of the theater. Paintings also. Entry place, there have to be big elephants have to be carved, and inside pillars will be, pillars should have all the carvings of the itihasas, and the painting on the roof, that also has to be there. And what are the colors that can be used, and how to mix the colors and paint the walls, and what size of the walls. He gives full instructions about the Natya Mantapa Nirmana. Here in this one, he gives the units of measurements: Anu, Rajas, Bala, Liksha, Yuka, Yava, Angula, Hasta, like that. Hasta and Danda. See how precise in those days he has given the architectural point. 8 anus become 1 rajas. 8 rajas will become 1 bala. 8 balas becomes 1 liksha. 8 likshas become 1 yuka. 8 yukas become 1 yava. 8 yavas become 1 angula. 1 angula, 1 inch, been the 1 inch has been differentiated. I mean, cut into so many forms. A very precise 1 inch made into too many, what you can say, chala bhagaluga chesaru. And 24 angulas is 1 hasta, and 4 hastas is called as 1 danda. It was he is where the instrumentalists sit. This is called as Matavaranis, they call. 2 sides of the stage, they have to be placed. And what are the things that have to be placed on the Matavaran? They call as 2 benches on the 2 sides. What are the things have to be put there, and where the Vainika has to sit, where the singer has to sit, where the Mridangist has to sit. That also every inch by inch has been given there. Measurement of the side. And by selecting the Preksha Gruha, that is a mandapa, the auditorium, first the land has to be checked. How is the land? Land should be very clean, and there are some kind of measures to check the land is good or bad. They have to pour the water and see how long the water can be wet there. That land should be wet there. And then when they move a little bit of soil, there shouldn't be any kind of dead bodies or bones of the dead bodies. All these kinds of, all those minute details are also being described here in the 2nd chapter. Third one is Rangamantapa Vidhanam. Rangamantapa Vidhanam is of 1 or 2 shlokas, and it contains prayers, chants for the Lord Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Ganesha, etc., etc. But surprisingly, there is no mention of Lord Krishna there in the Rangamantapa, Rangadevata Puja. And in the 4th chapter, which is a very interesting chapter for all the dancers, it has 320 shlokas, which describes the Tandava Nrutya. On the Indradvajotsava day, all the Bharatas, the people who have learned the Natyam by then, they have performed 2 plays, Amrita Manthana and Tripura Daha. And when they were presenting this drama, what are the karanas, the postures which they have to take? These karanas are the basics of the pure dance, with detailed description of those 108 karanas, 32 angaharas. Angaharas are movement of the limbs, and rechakas, the gestures, were all dealt in the 4th chapter, 4th adhyaya, namely Tandava action. And 5th adhyaya is Purvaranga, preliminaries, which have to be. In the Natyotpatti Katha only, Bharata, when they perform the Tripuradaha and Amrita Manthana, all the Daityas, all the Rakshasas, they created a lot of problem for the people, because in both gods are the winners and the Danavas are the losers. And all the Danavas naturally got annoyed, and they were so dejected by the thing that all the gods are being given the prominence and not the devas, and they started disturbing the drama by making making noise in the hall and throwing the things on the actors, and Chetabadi and Tarkada, they used to do such kind of a witchcraft, and then all of a sudden the actor used to forget the dance. All these kinds of disturbances used to happen during the performance. So to avoid all those kinds of disturbances, Brahma gave certain rules, and all those rules are given here in the Purvaranga Vidhana, where rituals to stop, to avoid such kind of impediments, the rituals which have to be performed, and the actual dance to be performed, the Purvaranga, Nandi, Dhruva, Prarochana, Prastavana, all these things, how the setting, arrangement for the drama performance had been explained in the Purvaranga Vidhi of the 5th chapter. 6th and 7th chapter. 6th chapter is totally devoted for Rasa Adhyaya. Rasa Adhyaya, this has to be done very detailed. And 8 rasas, 8 plus 1 rasas are being explained. And 7th chapter is about the bhava. Bhavas are vibhava, anubhava, sanchari. Bhavas are being explained here in this, and how rasa is produced in the audience. And 8th chapter has a detailed description of 4-fold abhinaya, angika, sattvika, vachika, and aharya. And from 8th chapter onwards, 9th chapter is also angika abhinaya only, and angika abhinaya expression through the gestures, limbs have been dealt in 283 shlokas. And 10th chapter is dedicated to the footwork, where 103 shlokas are there. The charis, earthly charis and aerial charis. And 11th chapter is mandala, the earthly mandala, and this is described in 70 shlokas. Dr. Padmaja will be expert in explaining all these things. I don't want to go into details of that. 12th chapter is different gates of men, women, stout, intoxicated, just like this. Many people, it is given in 236 shlokas, how the people move, different conditioned people move, walk differently, and people from different areas, different countries, their gait is also, their walk is also slightly different. All those kind of, these are all instructions to the dancer, how they walk, how the queen walks, how the paricharika walks, how the queen's friend walks, how the king walks, all these kind of walks, different kinds of gati prachara. Different kinds of gati prachara is explained in 12th chapter. And 13th chapter is Vibhanga Kaksha. Vibhanga Kaksha is a stage division. Stage division, this is also very scientifically, the method has been given, how the people should come and go, where the actor should come and where the actor should go, where the king has to stand and where the others have to stand. And while performing the dance also, the dancer, how she has to move on the stage. These are all Kaksha Vibhanga, stage division, where the Vainikas and others have to sit. All those things are. And here in this only, he explains 4 kinds of pravrittis, regional identities. How the people of Dakshina Desha dress, how the people of Northeastern people, they dress. And like this 4 kinds of pravrittis, and the Lokadharmi and Natya Dharmi is also explained. Lokadharmi is general dharmi, loka, how people act in the world, in the same way. The drama and on the stage also they have to act. Natya Dharmi is some things which cannot be shown, like the Vimanayana is there. That cannot be shown. And that has to be explained, made audience to know by certain movements. Those things are explained here in the Natya Dharmi. And chapter 15, 14 treats with the, from here, the Vachika Abhinaya starts. 40 is the Chando Vichitti, Chandas, metrical forms, prosody, and Kavya Lakshanam in the 16th chapter, and Kakuswara, modulation of voices in the 16th chapter. These 4 chapters are for the Vachika, Vachika Abhinaya, and 18th, 19th chapters are very much interesting to the people who like to write the drama or a story or a poetry. What are the things which they have to consider when they are writing a story or a poetry or a drama? 10 varieties of dramas are been described here. The Sharupakas are been described by Bharata in the Natya Shastra. And Sandhi Nirupanam, the 9th chapter, how they have to construct the plot. The story, how they have to build to bring out the rasa, sentiment, and the reader's mind or the audience one. This with how the structure of the sketching of the drama or the dance or the poetry has to be made. Not only these 3, but in everywhere, in any kind of an art, in any kind of a livelihood or activity in the world, this step by step, how they can proceed to bring the best out of the that has been explained in the 19th chapter, Sandhi Nirupana. And 20th chapter is Vritti Vikalpam. Is a Vritti Vikalpam, mode of expressions. Bharati Vritti, Satvati Vritti, Kaishiki Vritti, Arabhi Vritti. These are the 4 Vrittis. When they write the dialogue or when they present anything, depending on the environment, depending on the situation, depending on the mood of the mood which the actor has to take, and then that those kind of expression has to be there. People when they are happy, they cannot use so much of Bharati Vritti. Bharati Vritti is a verbal one. Too much of verbal activity will be there in the Bharati Vritti. Kaishiki Vritti is a very delicate one, and Bharata says Dakshinatyas are very good in performing the Satvati Vritti, he says. Delicate art form is a Kaishiki. And and 21 and 22 chapters are devoted to Aharya Abhinaya. Aharya Abhinaya, here costume and makeup. Aharyam. Aharyam is a costume. What kind of a costume a dancer has to wear even when writing the poetry, or even when you are attending to some function, how you have to dress, what all the things have to be taken care of. Those things have been written. And along with that, they have given how to make the mustaches, hair, and the face mask, and false hair, and how much paint has to be there, what color paint the dancer, the actor has to spread on his face. All these things are, like if Rama's character is there, what kind of an color he has to, and the combination in here. If anyone goes deeply into this chapter, they can see the chemistry of the science of things are being taught here in the mixture of the colors and the making of the mask, how it has to be done, the procedure, step-by-step procedure has been given in the Aharya Abhinaya, the 11th and 12th chapters, and then 23 chapter is a Bahyopachara, the other people who are there nearby, along with the main characters, the people who are also there on the stage, how they have to behave. And 24th chapter is dealt about the Prakriti of the men and women in 89 shlokas, and variety 4 types of heroines, 4 types of heroes are being explained here. And 25th chapter is the Chitra Abhinaya, 125 shlokas. Here in this chapter, he gives a particular details, a particular expression for indicating morning or sunset, seasons, different kinds of seasons, birds and animals, demons, celestials, and how they have to act on the stage. Natya is nothing but communicating one's feeling has to be transmitted to the audience. All these things are being, seasons are there. And the person who is enacting there or writing a poetry there, he should know what the in what season, how the Prakriti is, how the environment is. And these are explained in 125 shlokas. And 26th shloka is Vikruti Vikalpa, is here also. The craft, how to prepare the molds of the animals. When in the Abhinyana Shakuntala is playing with the deer. They cannot bring natural deer onto the stage because it wouldn't stop at one place. So how to make those kind of animals, how to make the birds, how the set design, set design is explained in the 24th chapter, and 26th chapter. 27th is the Natya Siddhi. Natya Siddhi is, there are 2 kinds of siddhis, Daivi Siddhi and Manushi Siddhi. The 2 siddhis are being explained in a 26th chapter, 27th chapter and 28th chapter. From here onwards, the musical notes, science of music is being explained here. I doubt that any of the present day musicians are going through this Jati Vikalpam of the chapter of Natya Shastra. This is all the properties of music. How the Sarigama Padan is the Dhruva, the Swaras, Murchanas, all these things, Jatis. The Jati is the combination of the musical Swaras. By that time, it is not, the names of the ragas were not given. So Natya Shastra explains all the ragas in the form of jatis and murchanas only. And each one has Vadi, Samvadi, Vivadi, Swaras, etc. And since the names were added later on, I think that most of the musicians are not paying attention on this the music part of the Natya Shastra. But it goes very detailed, very minute details have been given there, and different kinds of combinations are given. So much of mathematical analysis is being found in the Natya in this chapter. And 29th chapter is also a continuation of the 8th chapter only. This deals with the stringed instruments, Taladhyaya. And in this Taladhyaya, very minute timing measurements are being, timing measures have been given here. And 30th chapter deals with Shishiratodya, the wind instruments, and 31st chapter Atodya, Atodhya, Taladhyaya, various units of is 30th Adhyaya, Shushira, and 31 chapter is Taladhyaya. The time, various units of the time, Laya, have been explained here in 378 shlokas. Very big, lengthy chapter where the time measurements are very detailedly explained. And 32 chapter is for the dealt with the Dhruva Vidhana, types of songs and situations and all. And 33 deals with the qualifications of the vocalist. And 34th chapter is a Pushkara Vadya, percussion instruments in 304 shlokas. And 35th chapter is Bhu Vikalpa, selection of the Bhumika Vikalpa, selection of the roles for the Sutradhara, actor, actresses, etc. And 36 and 37 chapters deal with the Natya Shapa and Gushya Tattva Vidhanam. These are two chapters where how the celestial dance drama, Bharata's Natya Shastra, had come down to the earth. The stories are being given in the 36 and 37 chapters. In these 36 chapters, what he explained, he condensed everything, and he said there are 11 important aspects in the performance of the in the performing art and stage presentations. They are Rasa, Bhava, Abhinaya, Dharmi, Vritti, Pravrittischa, Sandhihi, Swara, Tatha Atodhyam, Ganam, Rangascha, Sangraha. These are the 11 components which are being detailedly explained in the Natya Shastra. These are the Sangraha only. Sangraha is a short form. Condensed, codified form. And the Rasa, which is one minute. Rasa. Let's go little details. Evandi inkoncham sepu 15 నిమిషాలు చెప్పొచ్చా ప్రభాకర్ గారు?
ఓకే అండి, చెప్పండి.
Rasa. The first thing, the purpose of the drama is rasa, production of rasa. People enjoy while seeing the performance of the actor or actors on the stage. How they enjoy, how the rasa has to be produced. Rasa is like when Bharata defines rasa as vibhava anubhava vyabhichari samyogat rasa nishpatti. Rasa is produced in the heart of the audience with the vibhava anubhava vyabhichari bhava samyogat. When these vibhavas are there, anubhavas are there, and vyabhichari bhavas there, with the samyogat, with the combination of these three bhavas, vibhavas are like Shakuntala, Dushyanta, and Anubhava, and their surroundings like the meet and the Kanva ashrama. To produce a Shringara Rasa, these are all the things which are being used. They are called as vibhavas. Anubhavas are the physical effort. Whatever is there in the heart, that is being expressed through the physical effects. That is the Anubhava. Vyabhichari bhava are the bhavas which come and go, which are not constant. make them constant, and then with the help of the anubhavas and vibhavas, the Shrungara rasa will be produced. And these rasas are Srungara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhayanaka, Bhibhasa, Adbhuta. And the ninth rasa is been added later on by people. And when the suitable atmosphere is there, and both the hero and heroine have the same kind of a mental state, and they express their mental state through the anubhava. And when the transitory moods, that is the Vyabhichari bhavas, they kindle the rasa, the sthayi bhava, which is the inner feeling of the reader or the spectator. It is not from the outside or anything, but the hero who is acting may not have the feeling in him, but with his anubhavas, he makes the audience, the reader, also enjoy the same kind of a rasa which is there in him in the dormant stage. Then he forgets his individual, and he also experiences the same kind of a feeling, same kind of an emotion, same kind of a sentiment which Shakuntala or Dushyanta or Rama are having there. This is called the Rasanubhuti. Rasanubhuti, this definition which is being given, Vibhava, Anubhava, Vyabhichari, Samyogat, Rasanishpati, is been explained by many scholars in many ways. All the Kavya Shastra Granthas, they have taken this definition and explained the Samyoga, the Nishpati in different ways, which is not very relevant here. And this every person, every human being will have these 8 sthayi bhavas in him, and these bhavas are kindled by vibhava, anubhava, and vyabhichari bhavas. And these 33, 8 plus 8 plus 33, 49 bhavas together, they make audience understand the experience the same kind of a love or heroic sentiment which the hero or heroine is experiencing. And Angika Abhinaya is fourfold. The Abhinaya is, what is Abhinaya? Abhinaya is Abhinetum Yogyaha Abhinayaha. The Abhinaya is that which has to take the audience towards them. That is the Abhinaya. Abhinetum Yogyaha. Hrudgata Mano Bhavaha. Hrudgata Krodha Bhavaha. All those things have to be transmitted to the minds of the audience. That is the purpose of the Abhinaya. Those Abhinaya, that kind of an rasa is being produced by the angas. It is called as Angika Abhinaya. And it has again this Angika Abhinaya again has many changes, many varieties. Sharija, Mukhaja, Cheshta, Kruta, Abhinaya, 3 varieties of Abhinayas are there. And Sharira Abhinaya is a physical movement. And again, here also Anga, Pratyanga, Upangas, all kinds of physical bodily movement, which has been explained by Bharata in 4th, 8th to 12th and 25th chapters. Though he said the Natya Sangraha, but it is not dealt with them directly, but different in the different areas, the whole thing, whole idea is being spread. And the sentiment is drawn through the Vachika, is a Vachika Abhinaya, by the words and songs, dialogue, etc. And this Vachika Abhinaya became very popular amongst the Kavya Shastra people, Kavya Shastra Alankarikas, rhetoricians. he explained it for the sake of a drama, but later on, he's explained only 4 alankaras, but it's been spread into many alankaras afterwards. And ahara abhinaya is a cosmetic. These are all things have been explained earlier also. Lokadharmi is a realistic world, whatever is there, that is being shown on the stage. And Bharati Vritti is a verbal gesticulation. Satvati is a mental state. Arabati is the vigorous and strong, violent words. Kaishiki is a very delicate one. Pravrutti, Drakshinatya, Avanti, Odri Maghati, Panchalya. When people are writing poetry or prose or drama, they have to see what kind of a dressing, what kind of an, of course, now the dressing style has become universal, but when they are, the Natya is the epic, stories of the epics have been enacted. So they have to go through with this. And Manushi Siddhi, Daivi Siddhi. Manushi Siddhi is a Manushi achievement, having a good story, proper audience, good actors, a good hall, good equipment, and all these things add to the success of the presentation. And Daivi Siddhi is when divine blessings are there. That is, there shouldn't be any rain or any health health problems for the actors or the presenters, and spells, all these things shouldn't be there. And there are Tata, Shushika, Ghana, Avanadha instruments. Avanadha instruments, how for the Mrudangam, the two sides, the skin will be placed. And that skin, how to prepare that skin, that whatever is explained by Bharata in Natya Shastra, that procedure is even followed now. That is what people say, that they have to bring the cow skin and do the layer on the both the sides of the Mrudangam. And Dhruvagana is of 5 types: Pravesha, Nishkramana, Akshiptaki, Prasadiki, and Antara. And Natya Gruha is of 3 varieties: Vikrushta, Chaturasra, and Tyashra. And while writing the screenplay, this is the last slide, while writing the screenplay, step by step thing has to grow, like a seed grows into small sprout, and then becomes a stable, and then becomes a big tree with all the flowers and fruits. And here it looks as if the thing is coming, you are getting the fruit, but without any problem, we have to get the Phala Siddhi. So this is how the planning has to be there step by step. Thus, Natya Shastra confirms that this has to be taught only to the people who are receptive, retentive, imaginative, and untiring. These people are only persons like Padmaja Garu are capable to take up such kind of a profession in their life. And this is called as Chakshusha Kratu by Kantam Chakshusha Kratu by Kalidasa. It's very lovable, delightful yajna, sacrifice for the eyes. During normal yajnas, Bali Vadha will be there. But here, nothing like that is there. It is a very enjoyable, pleasantful, delightful to the minds of the people. Thus, dance is a provider of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being for all of us. Yato hasta, tato drushti, tato manaha, yato manaha, tato bhavaha, yato bhavaha, tato rasaha. So people have their mind, receptive mind there. They do enjoy and all become one, the universal one. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak about Natya Shastra. But what I thought of telling, out of which I think I have said only 1/4 of it, but that itself has become very 1.5 hours lecture. I'm sorry for taking long time. And these all the 36 chapters are also can be dealt each time one session, like, because they're so lengthy and worthy of listening, worthy of knowing, because of its profundity, the Natya Shastra. So thank you one and all for patient listening. I don't know how much I succeeded in this one, but I feel that Manushi Siddhi is there for me. I could see the pleasant smiling face of Padmaja and Akela Garu. So I feel I have achieved a little bit in my lecture, in my effort. Thank you very much.
Yato rasa tato mukti. That we achieved it. We are very happy to have you here today, madam. We are blessed actually, and this you have just made you have compressed everything. You have made a gist of it and put into your brain, into our brain. Yeah, 7 chapters of Bharatanatyam of 1,000 pages of a book, bringing to a 1 hour oration is a fantastic job, and that you achieved it, and we are blessed with this. And like this, as you said, it should be a series of lectures on Natya Shastra. And many people, when I started this project for science in Sanskrit, then nobody was talking about Natya Shastra except one lady on writing this. And that too, she was trying to write on a Abhinaya and all those things. I said, no, that is a nonsense. That is not actually science part of it. There's a lot of science part of it in Natya Shastra. Why don't you talk about that? Then she converted to that. And then somebody I asked in my group, why not we have a lecture on this thing by somebody who is expert on these things? Then Gayatri madam from Medipatnam, she guided me to you, and I reached you. So it's very, I'm very blessed by your presence and your speech. And we have got another lecture, great lecture by Dr. Padmaja here now. And we are eagerly waiting for our lecture also. And I request you to give our time in future also and give some more lectures and make our audience. Some people are asking also. They will have a series of lectures like this. So we will see our Veda Samskruti Samiti is committed for preserve, protect, and promote our Vedic culture. So, as I said, the Natya Shastram is the great subject, and it is to be felt, and it is not only Abhinayam, it is science also. With this, we thank you, madam, and I request now, without wasting further time, Dr. Padmaja Garu to bless us with her information on Bharatanatyam, Natya Shastram. Dhanyavadaha.
Sadgurave Namaha. Am I audible, Prabhakar Rao,
Yeah,
sir?
sure. Audible.
Right. So what an august audience today. And we had a wonderful talk. Wonderful is a very small word. Vani madam, you have given us the gist of the entire text in such a short time. You have spoken the most important points out of the text as a typical Sanskrit academician would do. And personally, I'm extremely honored that I have been asked to come and give concluding remarks after such a presentation by you. Thank you so much. The slides were very useful. And the last slide summed up exactly the objective of such seminars. From what I hear from Dr. Rao is about the science. And you had a diagram to show from a seed to a sapling to a plant to a tree. And that's how even Rasa is explained, isn't it? When it comes from the poet and finally the fruit is taken by the audience. Now, Dr. Rao always says we try to combine management, science, mathematics with all our other treatises. And Natya Shastra is unique because you cannot separate the science from the art, can you?
No.
The scientist, if you look at a tree, would say that this is the structure, this is the dimension of a tree, this is the quality of a tree. But what an artist would do would describe the color of the tree, the taste of the fruit, that the tree is something which gives us shade. So in this text, as you said rightly, the dimensions, the mathematical principles, also of music, the measurements, the hastas, right from Anu, you went on. For every aspect, there is a material science also highlighted. So we have a concrete, typical structural science which boasts of substance, objectivity, observation, experimentation. All that is there also in Natya Shastra. But the unique part is, other than the material science, we have an esoteric science in play. Dr. Rao, so Abhinaya, you just now said, Abhinaya speaks of the esoteric science. And what do the great scholars and even the unparalleled Abhinaya Gupta, what do they all come out with is to examine this science of alchemy, which is the metaphysical aspect, which is there in the text. So the last chapter itself I saw in your slide is the Gokhya Pradhana. He speaks about the descent of drama from that sublime loka to the bhuloka, and again taking people from the bhuloka back to the sublime metaphysical astral realm. In fact, he promises that Brahmaloka Prapti. He says that it is not even Swargaloka, that after every Swarga experience, a man has to again come back to Bhuloka. Right? Once the merits are worked out, he has to again go through that. But in Brahmaloka, there is no return. So like Dr. Rao said, it is mukti, it is a sadhana for moksha. So the science is already embedded in the art. And this, like what is art, like Picasso says, is nothing but a lie that takes you towards the truth. So like you said, Anukarana, we are representing, right? It is not the true experience of your personal kind on stage. That is why repeatedly a spectator wants to come back and watch a same play or a same movie where he has cried once, he wants to cry again and again. So there are many in the Purva Paksha, and he always, Abhinav Gupta speaks about the arguments. And there are people who say, isn't it sadistic that you want to go back to a play and shed tears? There's no sadism here, is the argument. Is ultimately, neither the spectator has any personal give and take with the character, nor the actor has. But the representation is so much enlivened, so much idealistically real. We don't have stark realism in Indian theater, right? The typical modern movies that speak of stark realism, where even if it is the Gora or the violence is shown in such a way that you want to shut your eyes. But in our Indian typical theater, that is glorified. So the way it is represented itself makes man enjoy those rasas in such a way that you want to repeatedly go back and experience the joy of a sad tale. Now, even a painting, there may be an ugly face on the painting, most ugly person depicted, but still you go and look at it and say how beautifully the artist has brought out the ugly painting. So what happens here is we break out from the personal conditioned mind to an impersonal experience. Now, isn't that the very crux, the very foundation on which Natya having been based, we are able to connect to this art, which is thousands and thousands of years old, because of which, despite, I know Dr. Rao is always among the forerunners to bring forward Indian Shastra against a group of so many who may try to attack. No, nothing wrong in telling it openly. Our own domain, our own intrinsic, our own manuscripts or our own ways of interpreting them. There have been several misinterpretations. And Dr. Rao is one of the forerunners who tries his best to bring our knowledge systems out. So what I'm trying to say is the invaders or the several incidents that have happened in our country or our people since centuries, they have not been able to seep into this. So what is the reasons? Why this resilience is because of this great treatise called Natya Shastra. Bharata Muni has given us such a valuable treasure based on which over the years have arts evolved, dance has evolved as a separate stream, whereas Natya was always drama. Still we have that purity. If you speak of the Ganges and the purity of a tap next door, we can still promise that the same purity in parts is still there. That is there because of this Rasa Nishpatti. Nobody can take out that alaukika experience or para alaukika experience which Rasa talks about. And that is the biggest plus points for all of us as artists, that wherever we take the art, we are able to not only go inside a journey within yourself. The science speaks of sacred geometry within us. The laboratory is within us. The experimentation happens within our metaphysical realm, because of which there is a unifying force which the artist represents. And from the poet, from that sound resonance, from his pratibha, it becomes a shabda, a vakya, a kavya, a sangita, gita, a natya, nritya. From the pada, it becomes a padartha. The whole objectified universe itself has come out of the sound resonance, is something today even science speaks about. Quantum physics speaks the same Advaitic, Vedantic philosophy, which Natya also speaks about. Raso Vaisaha says Upanishad. So this connecting Brahmam Aswada Sahodara, says the great commentator, is you get the taste of that divinity, unforgettable divinity. And the esoteric science is what makes you cut down or reduce the pratyapigna behind this Natya Sutra, is to remove the identification with the objects. Through this objective perceptions, only you get to that subjective experience. But part by part, you kind of disidentify with all, and then you are able to taste that supreme joy within you, which the artist has conveyed through the art. Even for the music, that nadam, you keep on hearing. I may not be able to identify the particular ragam, like you said, the murchana, and then it came to raga. But why is raga so sweet? Because there is absence of division by letters in raga. There is no vakya or a word or a sentence, correct? Why is nritya so much of joy? Why does it give you? Because it resonates that sound which we are all nothing but made out of that. It makes you connect with that deepest resonance within you, that unforgettable experience, because of which you want to go back and see it. So the science and the art go always together. The skill is developed the Guru Parampara that we can boast of, the Gurus address the students in such a way that without the students realizing itself, there is a continuous transformation happening. The Guru transfers his own by enacting the acharyas, and the pupil by observing catches the abhinaya. And that same sthai bhava which you are identifying within you, the spectator also identifies, because whether it is love or anger or fear or disgust or wonder and all those, they're always within every part and parcel of every being. So I don't need to teach somebody what is Shringara. He already knows. It is only that the act is bearing open. It is opening up that the Jiva has forgotten that he is Shiva, but this Shivahood is something he is reminded of through the path of Shakti. Now, Shakti is the movement, is energy, pure science energy. And without Shakti, how can a word itself become a song or a dance? All of us need Shakti for it. So Shakti is the process by which the Jiva recognizes Shiva. So this is the science of the esoterics, the metaphysics that is hidden in the Natya, which Bharata never directly referring to it. He doesn't even refer directly to Shanta Rasa, but it is already there that he makes us enjoy this world drama through the changing, the act, the scene, whether it is the samhara at the end, the invocation. Through that you're able to get a taste of nothing but the cycle of the sustenance, the creation, dissolution or absorption that is constantly happening in all of us. And this sadhana promises not only the actor. They say that the Shringara Kaksha in Sanskrit theatre has the deity of death and the deity of liberation or nivritti and mrityu. Why? Because you die your individual ego. And once that is established and you're getting the para kaya pravesha and you're doing a character, there is this complete superimposition that happens into you, and you're able to liberate yourself from prarabdha karma. And also the people who watch you are getting an experience of that consciousness. We are directly touching with the deities, whether it is Rama or Krishna, the characters over there whom you have never seen with the physical eyes or heard. You're able to connect with that consciousness. So that is why the great scholars say that 1,000 rituals, 1,00,000 mantras cannot take you to one moment in Laya. So one moment in Laya absorption, getting a taste of that Brahman has got that high exalted state. So if only we all realize that what we are having in hand is a real treasure, more than the pursuits of the material kind, which will come. The pursuit of the deep spirituality within us and the spirituality in the audience is what was the objective, to reinstate dharma, make it very sweet, make all the Vedic dictum, make it like kavya, sweetly enacted, to make people understand what is dharma, to improve society. That is why the kings hosted it. And then on a path to the highest supreme spiritual bliss. So this effort, I'm sure, with people like Vani madam and with people like Dr. Rao and so many others in the audience, proponents and gurus of Natya and Rasikas, this is something that our Bharata Varsha is going to always relish. There will be a Charvana continuously. We don't have to be worried. It will be like a banyan tree. Nobody can uproot this. That much of strength is there in Natya Shastra. And we, the proponents, have to take this Vidya far and wide, continue, and a constant Shastra Prayoga, gulfing the gap is important, because a scientist working in a lab brings out a medicine after so many years. A doctor who is actually prescribing the medicine is the one who is facing here as the dancer, the audience. So he also needs to have thorough knowledge of the two. So both going together will help this present generation a lot, because that time when we learned also, maybe 30, 40 years from the time that I started as a little child, that time our gurus never said that you should sit and write something or document something. But today we are doing it, because we know that we have to face so many people. And for us, we need to have this solid foundation. Studying of Natya Shastra should be made as a compulsory subject in all our arts and humanities institutions in the country first, so that we have scholars to face everybody. Thank you very much. Namaskaram. I'm extremely honored to be called today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. It's great lecture you have given. You have taken us to a different level of the platform of the mukti and that salvation type of thing, how the Bharatanatyam is helping us to go there. And it's really, I call those people who say the feminism is there, ladies are being ill-treated in the country and Bharatiya culture. Who says that? I call them all fools. I call them all fools. See the great ladies we are here. See, Vani madam, Gayatri madam, and what more we are going to have a lecture, small concluding remarks by Visalashmi garu. We have got great Saraswatis are here. Lalita Devis, all namaskaram.
Okay, nowadays, many different, not Shastriya Nrityam, but many do perform the dances and dramas. In the movies also, we see the actors who are not learned anything about the action, how the face, body had to move, Angika Abhinayam, without knowing the Angika Abhinayam, without knowing the Vachika Abhinayam. We see all the actors on the movies and all. And that is such a sad state of our. In Kavyalankara Sangraha, 7th century, Bhamaha, he says, Na kavitvam adharmaya, vyadhaye, dandanayava. If you don't write the poetry, it is nothing to, no harm. It will not create any kind of vyadhi or dandana or anything. Hukavitvam tu punaha sakshat mrutireva. Hukavitvam, bad poetry. You have to learn. Bad poetry is sakshat mrutihi. It's definitely death only. Likewise, we are watching nowadays, people are not going through the vigorous training which they have to have and coming on to the performance stage because of so many reasons. We can't say maybe the financial reasons and all, but once they opt to that kind of profession, they have to do the justice to that thing. And Madam said mathematical. There are in the second adhyaya, there is mathematical things are there. And Chendo Vichitti, about 13 crores, 13.5 crores varieties of poetries one can write. That's what given in the Natya Shastra. We know only 60 to 70 Shardula Vrutamu, Mateva Vrutamu, Anushrup Chandas, Arya Chandas, these things only. But the combination, the letter, with the combination of the letters, one can make 13 crores, 13 and a half, 13 crores, 42,000. And he said this may increase also. Those many vruttas are there, and he explained almost majority of the vrutas here. And in the Taladhyaya, this is, I would like to mention, Taladhyaya, he tells, what is the Tala? What is the time permission, time measurement? He says, 8 kshanas is 1 lava, 8 lavas is 1 kashta, 8 kashtas is 1 nimisha, 8 nimishas are 1 kala, 2 kalas are 1 chaturbhaga, 2 chaturbhagas are ardhamatra kalas, 2 anudrutas are called as 1 druta, that is ardhamatra kala, 2 drutas is called 1 laghu, that is a matra. Matra means 1 a is 1 matra. In this 1 letter a, I, u, there the division is, you go back to the level, it's how much precision has to be
Vani
there.
madam, that can, I'll add, Vani madam, in that there is a lot of comparison. With that, you can go with also the Trika Shaivism meditation aspects.
Mm.
The 12 pranavas in that. So there is a
Yeah.
lot of, in that the matrikas are also used, and how from A, U, Ma, how it develops, and it's a lot of similarities are there. So you can make out the background of Trika and all this.
To attain that Brahmananda Sahodara, Rasovaisaha, Brahmananda level, you should be that, precisely you have to go for that. And I didn't touch Abhinavagupta's universalization Siddhanta, because it will be a very lengthy one. Universalization. And this is, one has to be very, very precise. When you concentrate that much, then only you will directly can visualize, perceive, experience Paramatma in you. He's not there anywhere. He's there with you, but we suppress it. We have to bring it back. And with one more, one which Bharata's quotation, I'll stop. Janadvam tat tatha natyam brahmana sampravartitam shishyebhyaha tad anyebhyaha prayachadvam prayogataha. You perform it. This has been given to Brahma to us. Know that this has been Brahma. You propagate it. Give to your students. Give it to others also. Why? Because ma vai pranashyatam etan natyam dukkhat pravartitam. With hard work. Look at the voluminous book of Natya Shastra of 6,000 shlokas. And this has been dukkhat pravartita. A lot of effort had been taken to write this Natya Shastra, which has been given by Brahma. Ma vai pranashyatam. Don't allow it to pranashyatam. Perish. Don't allow it to perish. Because
And
this
don't
is
have egoistic sense also, ma'am. No, don't have egoistic sense, the humble exponent. That's what he tells his sons also.
Mahasrayam Mahapunyam Veda Angopanga Sangavam. Veda Sangha, Upangas, everything are there. It is Mahasrayam, Mahapunya Pradam. This kind of Natya Shastra, don't allow it to perish. Natyametan Pranashyatam. అకళ్ళ గారు మీరు చాలా బహు ఉత్తమమైనటువంటి కార్యం చేసి ఈ నాట్య శాస్త్రాన్ని ఇలా బయటికి తీసుకొస్తూ ఉన్నారు. ఇలా బయటికి తీసుకొచ్చి నా రిక్వెస్ట్, మొత్తం అధ్యాయాలన్నీ ఒక్కొక్క అధ్యాయం ఒక్కొక్కటిగా మళ్ళీ సిరీస్ ఆఫ్ లెక్చర్ గా ప్లీజ్. ఆ మేడం ఉన్నారు, మేడం ప్రొఫిషియంట్. ఇంకా అక్కడ మనకి సుజాత మోహన్ గారిని భరతనాట్యం డాన్సర్ ఉన్నారు. నేను పద్మజ గారు కొలీగ్స్ సిలికాన్ ఆంధ్ర యూనివర్సిటీ. ఆవిడ డాన్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్, నేను సంస్కృత్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్. మీరు ఇలాంటి కార్యాలు బహుత్తమమైనటువంటి కార్యం చేస్తున్నందుకు మీకు నమో నమః.
మీ అందరి ప్రోత్సాహంతో చేయాలనే మా ఉద్దేశం. ఇంకా చేయాలని మా ఉద్దేశం. సుజాత మోహన్ గారు కూడా ఆల్రెడీ చార్ట్ లో పెట్టారు. ఐ యాక్సెప్టెడ్ దట్. నమస్కారం.
Ratnam madam has raised the hand. You want to add something?
Yeah, Ratnam madam, please. Ratnam madam, please. Please talk, Ratnam ji.
Maybe she's not. Okay.
Yeah, she's coming. Okay. Unmute and talk. Unmute and talk. Unmute. Allow check, Babu.
No,
Allow check.
okay. Namaskaram, Mahodaya. We have just now experienced a spiritualistic and most scientific and a very, very interesting and experience through that till now Natya Shastra is just looking and observing and clapping hands, but it is a science. And you ladies, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha, you have brought out the science, mathematics, spiritualistic content of the Shastra. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Akala Garu. Thank you, Veda Samskruti. Come on. Thank you.
Pranams everybody. Pranams
physics professor.
everybody. If it is,
One
if,
second.
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you, but I'm actually it's late in the night, and I'm from Melbourne. I'm from Australia, and I'm Dr. Padmaja Suresh's disciple. I'm Chandana Brijesh. It's really been heartwarming to experience such a session. I think it's intellectually and spiritually extremely satiating. But then, as I was listening to the talk, I also honestly felt that there is a pressing need for all of us to actually try and propagate this kind of a Shastra, not just among people and artists in India, but to universities abroad. I'm very aware that Padmaja ma'am, along with many other scholars, have taken up this endeavor to teach students and interested artists beyond the geography of Bharatavarsha. There was something that was kind of very overwhelming to me, because I've been doing certificate courses and studying on psychology, and having this root from India. I know we have so much of scriptures that only talk about manas and psychology, but in Melbourne, in Australia, they just do not want to accept any of our scriptures, any of our whatever material we have, because they think it's all experiential and it's not evidence based. It was very disheartening for me, and I had to talk with a lot of people saying, no, we have a lot of science. It only talks about the science of the body and mind. So I would really find it. I would really request you to see if there's a way where we can do something and promote our Shastra, our scriptures to universities all over the globe, because I think ours is Sanatana. It's always what our scriptures say is always the truth, and I think it has to remain. So this is a small request from
Maybe you can use experiments to deal with the clinical aspects, the therapeutic parts of Natya Shastra, with the use of Angika Abhinaya and the psychology that it works on through bhavas. So with therapy, you will get also evidential knowledge in case that is necessary to be able to document. So you need to take a case study of 10 patients. You have to work with the medical group and bring in as a holistic treatment. In that case, it can perhaps, if that is what they are looking for. Dr. Sujata, would you like to add something to this question? Because you had a seminar in Chennai, University of MGR Janaki, where I think I also presented on psychological aspects of Natya. So you could perhaps highlight something from that.
Yeah.
Please, ma'am.
In Natya Shastra, in Rasadhyaya, he explains Vibhava, Anubhava, Sanchari Bhavas. Sattvika Bhavas are the dormant state. Everybody will have. Only thing, we don't kindle it. We don't bring it out. The Vibhava, Anubhava, Sanchari Bhavas, he gives a detailed explanation of it. And the explanation in the sense, Angika Abhinaya, how they have to explain either Nirveda or the Glani. These terms, these expressions are similar to the expressions of Ayurveda. When an Ayurvedic doctor, if he knows about these things, he can immediately understand the condition of the patient.
Because it's based on Rajas, Sattva and Tamas, on
Yeah.
basic doshas.
They can understand. People who are unable to express themselves, that whatever feeling they had undergoing on, and this helps them to give proper picture to the doctor.
Even if we
term,
connect the
the
Vyabhichari
expression-
One
Bhavas,
second, one second.
As-
Sujata,
yeah,
please, let
as
Sujata
she,
speak.
as Vani madam told, we can connect the Vyabhichari Bhavas to our life as psychological feelings. But these Vyabhichari Bhavas should not take over as Sthai. Then our life will get ruined.
Right.
Same as Rasa. The Sthais are different. Only those can be like Sthais, like Rati, Hasa, Shoka, Krodha.
Sure.
But the Vyabhichari Bhavas are mental conditions which has to be there just to give us happiness in the life, ups and downs in the life. But they have to stay only as Vyabhicharis.
That is why he called them as Vyabhichari.
Vyabhicharis.
Sanchari or Vyabhichari. Vyabhichari is Vyabhicharanti, Vyabhichari.
Yep.
They come and go. They should not stand there permanently.
Permanent. They are
They
not
should not disturb the permanent feelings.
Yes.
Permanent.
We got two more speakers. Want to Nagamani,
Questions,
Nagamani ji, Nagamani, please. Nagamani ji, please.
Namaskaram andi.
Can you put the
Namaskaram.
video on, Nagamani madam and Samatha madam, so we can speak to you with the face identified?
Please open your videos, please.
Again, psychology based. Thank you.
Yeah.
నమస్కారం అండి. నేను యూనివర్సిటీ ఆఫ్ హైదరాబాద్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. I was a regular attendee of this session. So this was a wonderful session, and another thing I would like to add that thing. So last year international conference, one of the international famous international conference on human computer interaction, we have introduced the new domain of the research paper calling, especially on the dance is one of the things. Okay, and but after seeing this session, wonderful session, so we got lot of thoughts to work on computer science and integrating with the dance. This thing actually we thought to work on it. So I work in the area of artificial intelligence, and also we next month we are conducting one session. Actually Prabhakar sir also knows that. So I'm on the name of Azad Ki Amrut Mahotsav, we are conducting the building of artificial intelligence through Sanatan Dharma is our title of the this thing, sir. And that's the reason I was regularly attending this thing, and I'm also the student of Sanskrit learning this thing. But madam, today's things, many of the people also have given looking into the therapeutic part kind of thing. So if dance is included in NEP program from the school days, and we can reduce the psychological depressions from the students, and especially for the science students, like a competitive students, if we can include the dance, we can able to control the emotions kind of thing. That clearly it given the good message from this session, sir. It should bring to the notice of the government. So because we are losing young generations by simply a short emotional kind of thing. If they learn from the school days this kind of knowledge, and they can experience and they can get a lot of this thing kind of thing. So we can make it the theoretical point of view also in the dance. That is the thing actually, that one of the this dance theoretical talk in the conference is got the best. Now I got it why they have given even though it is a computer science, why they have given dance. Today's session really I understood, madam. So because it's a lot of knowledge in a short period is expressing is really amazing kind of thing. And sir, it can be played and shared these videos, especially for the school children. It is very useful, sir. That's my
Thank you. We are recording it. We are recording it and putting in YouTube. Next day it will come in.
Ah.
So
Sir, I would like madams this thing can participate in future these kind of things, so that we can under your this thing we can plan certain continuous 2 day seminar kind of thing, so that we can grab at least a little knowledge about these things, sir. Because this period is very short to know, but madam is wonderful that she has explained everything in a very short period kind of thing. Thank you very much, madam. So
Sure.
thank you, sir.
So, university people should take like that, having a 2 days, 3 days
Yes,
seminars,
yes.
lessons,
Yes,
they can
sir.
take up and they can do it. That is best thing. So it's,
Yeah, we
it's
can conduct
we
an
are
Dr. Rao, do we have time for two more very short questions there? Neeti and Samata.
Yes, so Samataji,
It's
please.
going to be 6 and I have to go for
Yeah,
another.
she has to go. Let us finish this.
Namaste.
please.
Namaste,
Yeah.
all of you. My question is a little related to dance only, a little out of the thing. One of my relatives who was a scientist was talking about Vimana Shastra and the metals used in it and all. And he was talking about a metal particularly called Sukatunda, which is one of the Asamyukta Hasta Mudras. And he was talking about it as bismuth and all that. And as far as the theory taught to us about Sukatunda, though the literal meaning of it is that the beak of the or the mouth of the parrot, which is a very nice thing we know of, and you don't associate it with violence. But Sukatunda actually represents, in depicting shooting of an arrow, a lance, recollecting one's repose, mystical invocations, and outrageous mood as per the Vinaya Darpana. What my teacher taught me more than 50 years back, it is also used for depicting Brahmastra and these kind of things. Same things like whether you are going to tell something about the copper color and all. And all these mudras also have got rishis allotted to them and colors. So the color of Sukatunda is red, and the rishi associated with Sukatunda is Durvasa. Is there a hidden meaning behind it? Like dance is not, Bharatanatyam is not just what it appears to be on the surface, but got deeper meaning to it that we should explore more. When I tried to get the references about this, I could not, other than the Abhinaya Darpana books. In Natya Shastram, this allotted rishis, and the story goes that this Sukatunda came when Parvati had a fight with Shiva. And that is when this Sukatunda Hasta, Asamyukta Hasta was brought about. And then it has a jati, which is Brahmana jati, and the Adhidevata of that is Marichi. Like that, every hasta, every mudra has got Asamyukta Hastas, and Samyukta Hastas have got all these. Is there a deeper meaning to it? Can any one of you, either of you who are still in thing?
Madam, can I have your background, madam? Sujata, madam. Samata, madam.
I did my about more than 50 years back. I completed certificate examination of Andhra, this thing in dance, Bharatanatyam. My guru is Kotra Subramanya Sastri Garu. And I was to appear for the diploma examination, but that clashed with my MBBS selection. So I had to choose.
So you're a doctor.
It was my medical profession.
Oh, great. You see, another aspect we have got here.
So I was seriously in two minds then, but then my father wanted me to become a doctor, and now, of course, no regrets. So I became a doctor.
Vani, madam, you want to answer her query or should I take it?
You take it.
Okay, so Sujata, do you want to add something or shall I take it? So my interpretation also is supported with the tantric text, because that was what my PhD was on. Now, I think when you use the term mudra, Samata madam, mudra in dance, we don't say mudra. We clearly say it is hasta.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is a hasta.
The basic
hasta
difference
and
is hastas are all evolved out of mudras. And mudra is from, you kind of internalize something, mudra. From the external, you internalize it and you communicate. There is prana pratishtha happening. Even with Sukatunda, there will be a deeper meaning for that. We cannot go, that's a different branch altogether. Now, when hasta comes about, the same internal becomes external public consumption. So there, the Viniyogas, the applications will be very many from there. So from that yogic aspect, it has become a Viniyoga for public consumption, wherein you have to just follow what it denotes. It can show the beak, it can show the arrow which is going. Now, Abhinaya Darpanam itself, the mirror of gestures, you have Ananda Kumara Swami is also the other text where so many extra gestures are there, right? From gestures for ocean, you won't even find it in Natya Shastra. Abhinaya Darpanam gestures are also different from Natya Shastra. Some of them are totally different. So what we as artists have to realize is when we use our fingers, we have to use it sensibly. We cannot misuse any hasta for anything just because it is available. Because the very fact that it has become this Angika representation through the hands are extremely important for us. It's the shaka, the branch with which you're communicating. So usage of that as per the science given is not only good for us, but also good for the audience to get an indirect therapy. In fact, what we don't realize is that the siddhi which happens is spontaneously happening because of all these hastas that we are using, because they have been derived from deep introspection from the sages, from the munis themselves. Okay, so does that answer your query, Samatha ma'am?
No, ma'am. I agree with you totally. But my thing is there something beyond, which is like
Behind,
a lot of science is hidden in the
beyond.
A lot of science is hidden behind the mudras, which we are not aware of, and maybe we lost it all.
No, we have definitely getting the benefit out of it. When you ask of Buddhist mudras also, all of them have a different tattva. Right, from thumb to all that, and we are actually channelizing the same thing through the hastas. Aren't we doing it?
No. That part all, I agree with you entirely. I am not in any
some more
disagreement.
research. What Samantha madam says is some more research is required to
Maybe
be handled.
Need to do more
some more research is
into
required, and there is a lot of research can be done, she says. That's
yes,
what.
because
a branch of
both
healing
both
by
Sukatunda being Bismuth in Vimana Shastra, the proportion of it, which I heard, even the proportions are hidden as if you say Agni, it is a certain number, and some other word, it is a certain number, and that is how the slokas are written and how you interpret them. Like that day in the lecture, Dr. Chukula CSR Garu said. Yeah.
So I was just remembering, I also remembering it. So,
exactly. Maybe there is something, all the Shastras are like, we call this a Panchama Veda. All these are from Vedas. So maybe there is some, in the garb of this being an art form and an entertainment form on the superficial aspect, and we take it as a more meditative or a more esoteric experience or a spiritual experience or getting nearer to God. Maybe there is also another aspect to it which tells us more about science, which we were not aware of earlier, and maybe there is something more to be.
And these gestures have
explored.
come from Yajurveda only, no ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So even the Vedic learning, if still the Nambudiri Brahmins, they use mudras for teaching the Vedas.
Yes.
But they will not communicate it. So you are not supposed to use some of the mudras using in
that is true.
On the stage. The austerity is broken.
See, earlier on, people were supposed to know, all the Pandits at least, all the 64 kadas. Whereas now none of us do. So maybe those at that level understood everything and could coordinate, and it was a more cohesive learning.
Let us take this point.
Audience.
This Shastra, 1 second. Let this be concluded like that. This question of Samatha's question can be taken as there is a scope for a lot of research on the point where the implied meanings are there on these things. That every subject has got a very number of research points. That's what we are trying to point out. So that one more person is Niti is there.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all for such a lovely.
Yeah, Niti ji, please. What's your point?
Mahodaya, one small point.
1 second. One second. Let Niti ji talk.
Only one sentence. Okay.
Okay.
Today we are celebrating the International Women's Day in Veda Samskruti Samiti, and thank you, ladies. Such renowned scientists that you have enlightened us. Thank you very much. And congratulations to you also.
Yeah, it's my luck. It's my luck that I arrange a coincidence that it has happened in the same day. It is Veda Samskruti Samiti's luck also. Okay. Yes.
Okay,
Namaste,
namaste everybody. First of all, thank you Vani ji and Padma ji for your wonderful session. And just to give you a brief about myself, my name is Neeti, and I am in Ireland right now. I'm a data scientist and a machine learning engineer in Walmart Labs out here in Ireland. So just to tell you about the how come I'm interested in arts and other stuff, that once I came to Ireland, I realized that something is missing. When I was in India, I was like, okay, we have a lot of people around us, we have our Indian culture, but here that thing was missing, and due to that thing only I'm inclined to Bharatanatyam and Sanskrit. And I came to know about this session as well through Sanskrit Bharati group only. I've done my Pravesha, I'm giving my next exam. So yeah, Bharatanatyam, I'm really inclined to Bharatanatyam. So that's why I was really interested to talk to you. So my thing is that I'm reading the comments as well. People are saying that millennials are not interested in arts. That's not the case. I am being a data scientist. I really want to do make an impact. I want to use machine learning to translate Vedas. Because there are a lot of Vedas who are losing their thing, because we are not many people who know Sanskrit, but using natural language processing. I really want to contribute in it. And similarly in Bharatanatyam as well, I want to use machine learning, because I'm seeing that people right now in Ireland, I'm not finding the right teacher who can guide me that am I doing my asamic hastas right or not. So using machine learning, I can use image processing, and then help the people to to learn their mistakes via computer. So my question to you is that, both of you, is that me being a millennial, I don't have any support here. So can we have sessions, online classes, so that we can learn the art from the exponents like you, so that we can take it forward with using technology and Indian art
Be in touch,
moving
Nikki.
forward.
You can take my email also. You can
Please give
Yes,
your
ma'am.
yeah, mine is Padmaja Suresh, that is my first name, at hotmail.com. I can type
Sorry, ma'am,
it.
can you please repeat, ma'am? Ma'am,
I
what is
can
it?
type it here for you on the chat box. And I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
Sujata also typed when you asked this earlier. So one of us or both of us can guide you. We're always there for all the enthused students to help. Whatever
please
we
leave your phone number, Nitiji. Please leave your
Yes, sir.
phone number and your details in the chat box. We will
and
save and
regarding artificial
communicate to the
intelligence,
concern.
Prabhakar Rao
Yes,
sir, artificial intelligence and Bharatanatyam, already there was a very good seminar that happened in University of Mumbai 2 years ago. And they came out with the conference proceedings, and it's going to come in one of the leading journals also, where we did work with AI and even the very motifs used in Bharatanatyam, the Margam also. With AI, we try to reconstruct a Margam. So once
Yeah,
it is out,
exactly. Even Veda Samskruti has also opened a session, is a group, artificial intelligence IT, AI, TAI. So one group we have created for artificial intelligence. So there I can add you people also, so that you can contribute to our group also. So I will add you. Nitiji, please leave your phone number and details to us in the chat box. We will be in touch with you, and we will communicate other people's details also to you.
thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Rao. I
Thank you,
think
sir. Thank you.
you can conclude now with your remarks.
Yeah,
And
sure, definitely. So Mr. Giri is one last man. Giri Saab is want to talk. Is he left already? Mr. Giri is trying to reach us, and then probably he left because
can't see his window here.
Yeah, he just now he left, it seems.
Okay.
Okay, then let us close. I request another our Asthana Saraswati is there, Dr. Visalakshmi. So I'll ask her to conclude the session with her speech of few minutes. Dr. Visalakshmi, our Vice President, Sanatana Dharma.
Om Sabhayai Namaha. Om Nataraja Swamine Namo Namaha. Om Sri Bharata Maharshaye Namo Namaha. It is really very difficult to give complete summary of entire Natya Shastra, which is considered as Panchama Veda in one aspect. The 37 chapters in just 1 hour. Really, it's wonderful work our dear Vani did today. Today's speaker Saubhagyavati Vani really did justice to her topic, as she herself declared, and she is self-satisfied. She knows what to speak because she is an authority on Natya Shastra and did research on this wonderful work. She completely explained in short the summary of each and every chapter of Natya Shastra. Pasurveti, Sisurveti, Veti, Ganarasam, Phanihi, we say. The fine arts, Kalalu, as we say, attract the hearts of each and every living creature, not only human beings, and it leads to Godhood, the Paramatma, the real bliss and happiness of getting united with our Paramatman is really achieved by these kalas, we say, the fine arts. And the fruit of this Natya Shastra is creating rasa, the sentiment, in the hearts of readers, listeners, viewers, and everybody, we all. Dr. Vani successfully summarized the entire Natya Shastra, the perfect gist, the essence, the sara, that is rasa. The rasa of the fruit is its essence. So similarly, the essence, the sara is the rasa of Natya Shastra, which is given to us in a very fine and wonderful way. It is Bharata Maharshi who said, Mangaladini, Mangalamachani, Mangalantani cha Kavyani Prathanti. The Natya Lakshanas given by Bharata Maharshi are being followed by all the writers, even the great Kalidasa Mahakavi and Pavaputi Mahakavi, the Pancha Santhis which Bharata Maharshi has explained, they have been written, that is maintained in their natakas, in their dramas, and we can see in the famous works Uttara Ramacharitra, Abhignana Shakuntalam, etc. Raso vai saha, says the Upanishads. Paramatma is Rasa Swarupa. The fine arts lead to Paramatman, the Parabrahman, the Godhood, the divinity. The Natya Shastra speaks about this rasa. Rasa itself is Paramatman, and Natya Shastra speaks about the how the individual soul, the Jivatman, can get united with Paramatman, which is the ultimate aim of our human life. So the Kalakaras, the artists, they worship the divine power by these kalas, by these either dance or music or painting, etc. arts, and get such bliss and enjoy that happiness. The Rasanubhuti gives immense joy to all of us. It is said, Vibhavanubhava Satvika Vyapichari Bhava Samullasita Sthayi Bhavo Rasaha. That is the Sthayi Bhava which creates the Rasanubhuti. So even Dr. Padmaja Garu also gave very excellent lecture on this Natya Shastra. She said that though several people invaded our country and robbed away and destroyed, in fact, our manuscripts, Shastras, crores of granthas, but they could not destroy this Rasa Nishpatti and Rasa Avishkruti from our hearts, because Bharata Maharshi has given such a treasure house to
not only this Mahilas of Indian Bharatiya Mahilas.
In this Natya Shastra, which is being followed by all Rasa Hrudayas, Rasanubhuti, Rasa Nishpati, it cannot be taken away. And this is really fact. She has given today a very wonderful statement, we can say. Because this Rasa Nishpatti of the experience of the heart of a person can never be robbed away by anybody.
That is the only truth.
Really, madam. Yes, really, this is truth. That is why it is said in Sanskrit, Arasikeshu Kavitva Nivedanam, Shirasi Malika, Malika, Malika. That is how a poet lamented, it seems, addressing Saraswati Devi. Because when Rasikas, Sahrudayas are there, then only this Rasa enjoyment can be enjoyed by people. And in fact, when a drama is played or any song is sung by an artist, when the Rasa Hrudayas get melted there in that Rasanubhuti, they they in fact encourage with their claps and their facial expressions and joy. That gives strength to the artists. That is the real encouragement given to them and their pratibha. In fact, this pratibha is God-given gift. Unless one is blessed by God, one can never get such pratibha, the talent of these fine arts in any person, either a dancer or a singer or a painter or a sculptor, anybody. All these are even writing excellent poetry and writing any writings and commentaries on them. All these depend upon the pratibha of
Saraswati.
those persons.
Shastra.
Pratibha, Vyutpatti, Abhyasa. God gives Pratibha, then we should develop that Pratibha by Vyutpatti and Abhyasa. Abhyasa by practice, Vyutpatti by going through the scriptures, gaining knowledge, collecting information, and owning that. We should learn, study, educate completely, get the essence of that study and own it. Then they shine a lot. Not only in this mundane world, in this world they will be honored, but they will be recognized by Godhood and divine blessings will be enjoyed by them. So this sort of Sthayi Bhava which these actors, they express, they are being experienced by the audience. So ఏ కళలైనా కూడా పరమాత్మ దర్శనాన్ని మనకి కలిగిస్తాయి. పరమాత్మ దర్శనానికి సోపానాలు. అలాంటి కళలను గురించి చెప్పే భరత మహర్షి నాట్యాన్ని గురించిన ఇంత అద్భుతమైన ప్రసంగాన్ని ఏర్పాటు చేసినందుకు వేద సంస్కృతి సమితి వారందరికీ కూడా హృదయపూర్వకమైన కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. విశేషంగా శ్రీ ప్రభాకర రావు గారికి అనేక కృతజ్ఞతలతో అభినందనలు, నమస్కారాలు, కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. సౌభాగ్యవతి వాణిని హృదయపూర్వకంగా అభినందిస్తూ ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్నాను. డాక్టర్ శ్రీమతి పద్మజ గారికి హృదయపూర్వక కృతజ్ఞతలు, అభినందనలను సమర్పిస్తున్నాను. స్వస్తి.
మేడం మీ ఆశీస్సులే కావాలండి.
ధన్యవాదాలు. మీ వీడియో ఒకసారి మీరు వీడియో ఓపెన్ చేయండి మేడం. One minute. Kailash Ganga is one person who wants to put a question. Just give 1 minute, please. Kailash ji, please, you can talk for a few seconds. Kailash ji, if you are.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Please open your video. Please open your video.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm an MPhil student from Bangalore Nivans Hospital. Sir, currently I have planned to do dissertation. So my topic is development of prototype communication manual based on Natya Shastra for person with communication disorder. So as a psychiatric social worker, we have planned to
Mute again. You got mute. Unmute.
తెలియటం లేదా అబ్బాయికి?
Yeah.
So currently I have to do a review the whole Natya Shastra book. So I have saw the PPT. There is some editions books, or the 4 edition books is mentioned. So can you suggest that which book I can go that and I can review the Natya Shastra? Then I can validation whatever I will call out the communication from the Natya Shastra and to make the communication manual. So I want to know that which book, which edition it will be helpful for me to review.
Vani ma'am.
Sir, PSR Apparava's book, one book is there, Natya Shastra, and studies in Natya Shastra. Book of Tarlekar is there. These 2 books you can refer.
Okay.
And the Natya Shastra also you can refer to the some 22nd chapter of Samanya Abhinaya, there you find you can find how the ways of expression, Vaga Vinaya.
Okay.
These books are very relevant for you.
Okay, ma'am. So P.S.R. Apparao is the author. Studies in Natya Shastra book name, right?
Natya Shastra. And same, but this is a Telugu translation, Sanskrit text only, but Telugu translation by our Guru.
Dr. Vani, what about the Manmohan Ghosh translation directly, which has identified?
No, Manmohan Ghosh's translation is there on archives.
And also
For me, most of the translations are taken from the Manmohan Ghosh.
It is translated in Sanskrit to English, Manmohan Ghosh.
Yeah, it is easier
Yeah,
for
it-
you to edit in English.
Yes.
And there is one Dr. Aarti, my student in NIMHANS, a senior professor.
Yes,
can help me
yes,
with-
ma'am. Dr. Arati only is my guide for this topic.
she's, my student,
Okay.
you can take the Prayoga help from her also simultaneously.
Sure, ma'am. Dr. Arati only have given this link, and Dr. Arati only is my guide for this topic also.
Okay, Kailashji, you leave your phone number, etc. I also already got an article on the speech, what are the different ways of speaking in my Science and Sanskrit project. First article is that only. The various ways of speak and all speeches and other things. So that was considered as a non-scientific, but still I can share that this thing to you. It is definitely useful to you, I hope. That article will be useful to you, I hope.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very
Thank
much.
Yeah, then we will close the session. Dr. Babu, please
Pravritti
close the session.
Adhyaya, it speaks about how the diction and modulation of voice will be there for other states of the people. That also, I mean, there also you'll find some references for the speech.
With request to all the seniors here who are not Shastra to give us some more time again and give us the topics to our members in future. With that request, I request Dr. Babu, our Vice President, to close the session with his vote of thanks and his message on the program.
Namo Namaha. Thank you for the opportunity. It is a great opportunity for me to talk to the dance enthusiasts. And this is a special day for, Veda Samskruti Samiti to have got such a topic. Out of the 72 webinars we have, this is one of the special topics, and we are very fortunate to have Vani Garu and also Dr. Padma Garu, who is an acclaimed artist of Bharatanatyam. And the speech and the motivation and also the way that they have explained the Natya Shastram has moved the audience, and they got emotional. That is the evidence of how best the webinar is really taken by the audience. We have around 72 audience persons attending this throughout. Even now, after about 2.5 hours of webinar, we still have around 35 people still listening to us, and most of the people have interacted with the speakers. And Ratnam Garu, Chandana, Sujata, Mohan Garu, Nagamani, Samata Garu, and Neeti, and Kailash. And there are some research-oriented questions, which is very encouraging, very interesting. So that means, it has got a lot of educational value and also spiritual value. So a lot of feedback has come from the audience. Stunned by your energy and amazing way of explanations. They are the real scientists of Natya Shastram. I mean, they are talking about Vani Garu and Padmaja Garu. The wonderful insight in all summarized in a very short duration, like a tablet. Very impressive, very nice and detailed lecture. The high Padmaja Garu, she has come as a chief guest, and let us thank her for sparing her time. I'll thank all Padmaja Garu on behalf of all of you. She has highlighted the salient aspects of Natya Shastra, spoke very well and fluently, and articulated very well, eloquent speaker. Summarization is another dimension. This is a feedback from some people. Your Shakti excels that of Shiva. So that is another great feedback that has come. So really this today's webinar is something special in the history of our webinars of Veda Samskruti Samiti. So there's a lot of coordination work, and then a lot of work is involved in organizing this webinar. So let us all thank Veda Samskruti Samiti for organizing this webinar. And let us thank our Vice President Sanatana Dharma, Vishalakshi Garu, for summarizing it, which is also is like another small webinar for all of us. Thank you very much for being with us for 2.5 hours today. And I'm sure that you have more than the time value of the time you have spent with us. Namo Namaha. Thank you.
Dhanyawada. Now let us go with Santi Mantram and Janaganamana. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu, Ma Kachit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryankara Vavahai. तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. सत्यं वद धर्मं चर सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. हरिः ओम. इदानीं जनगणमन. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा. विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंगा. तव शुभ नामी जागे तव शुभाशिष माहे. गाहे तव जय गाथा. जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. जय हे
जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. I forgot about the singers in the audience.